System check. It's checked.
Checked. Good morning.
Good morning.
More sun. Hats off. I mean,
Top of his head.
Do you like the pastel colors, though?
he's ready for something.
But I'm spraying the 70% stuff.
There you go. Good.
Letting the vets go again this year, just what went into that, and what did you get out of the last couple weeks?
Well, I'll tell you this. I appreciate everybody that's here. We have 91 guys, and the ones that have been here have been working their tails off, vets included, obviously, and it's a voluntary program. So, obviously, using my discretion that, giving some of these guys, these 3 days, where we can really focus on the young guys and even some of the injured guys who can get another 3 days, of treatment and rehab and, just spending time with the young guys. But the vets have been doing an outstanding job. They've been here. They've been present. They've done everything that I've asked them to do, and just felt it was, beneficial for them to get the extra 3 days.
What were you able to accomplish this year that you couldn't necessarily do last year? Maybe more playbook or anything like that?
It was just refining everything. It's just a matter of, taking what we did during the season and just trying to make it better. And everything's established, and just finding, the off season's a time to a little bit be creative, with stuff, and seeing how guys, integrating the new guys, whether they're free agents or draft picks, undrafted guys into the, and onto the team, and just a matter of just sort of, kind of refining everything is kind of what you get out of, this season.
So Josh Allen is in the building, conversations with him, and the expectation was he would be here today?
Yeah, no, I mean, every expectation from us was that he was going to be here. The communication that we had prior to today, he was going to be here. I saw him this morning, excited. It was really good to see him, and for him to spend these next couple of days with us and just see where he's at. It'll be good. It'll be good to get back in the classroom with Coach Shuey and pick up with the football terminology, and just excited to watch him move around today.
I know you've stressed about Calvin, how you've had to pump the brakes a little bit. He is here too. How do you pump the brakes this week, knowing that it's a lot of rookies, but then also him?
Yeah, I mean, another one that we're integrating onto the team, and he's kind of been up and down as far as medically a little bit this off season and nursing a few things, and so we just want to make sure he's 100% before he leaves the building, and whether he does a ton of football stuff this week is yet to be seen. But and look, he one of the things I really find and the respect I have for Calvin is just the communication that he's had with us and us with him, and I make that a point to be open and honest with all the players, especially a veteran player of his of his caliber, and he's excited to be here. He wanted to be here. He's not going anywhere. He now lives in Jacksonville, Florida, so it's good to see him here as well.
Hey, Doug, speaking of that, Chad Hall, when you already mentioned his work ethic, his enthusiasm, I'm sure that's exactly what you've seen. But how do you see him relating with that room and
Chad or Calvin?
Chad Hall.
Chad relates well with that group, being a former player and obviously a guy that's worked extremely hard to get, to this level as a coach, and I think that really, rubs off onto the players in a positive way. And what I've seen this offseason is the respect that the players give him, the veteran players, even Christian Zay, those guys that have had a lot of experience playing, giving Chad the respect, of being their coach, and you see just how important Chad is, how he's making those guys better, and the attention to detail that they've had, and it's been really good. And so I just can't really just say enough good things, positive things about Chad and what he's done in that room already.
And there was an article in Buffalo that said, is mysterious as to why he left Buffalo. Is it any more mysterious than why free agents want to come here and why guys are happy when they get drafted here? You think you just want to be a part of this program and where it's going?
Chad and I have had history. I've coached him when he was in Philly with us, and of course, Trent had him in San Francisco as a player, and so there's history there. But, listen, yeah, it does make you, I think, feel good when you hear that, players want to be here and coaches want to be here. And I can't speak for their previous employer or whatever, but, everybody's different. Everybody's looking to, further their careers or whatever it might be. And we were just fortunate this year that Chad was available and, we were able to get him.
What do you hope to see from Josh this week? Josh Allen?
Yeah, no, I took a pause.
We had Urban for 2 years, so. Or 1 year, so.
I just want to see him run around. I want to see him, the type of shape he's in. I want to see him, the communication. It's going to be with some young guys in his group, and I want to see that leadership, this week, and everything that he's shown last year, and being a Jaguar now, and just I want to see that this week. I just want to see. That enthusiasm and that excitement to be a part of this football team.
How do you convey to him that this is not punitive? When you're missing a voluntary, and then there's a perception that it looks like he's being punished for skipping voluntary by having to come to the mandatory.
No, I mean, listen, it's a mandatory 3 days. It's the only mandatory part of camp. I haven't seen him. And so this is an opportunity to see him and really just embrace him and welcome him back. I mean, there's no bad blood or nothing like that. I mean, guys are entitled to the voluntary program. They can do what they want to do. And it's just good to get him back in this building and embrace him and get him back with, his teammates this week.
We've seen gambling stories kind of popping up in other franchises. Do you utilize Calvin at all to kind of convey his message, or has he done that in terms of what he's gone through with that as a kind of a, hey, learn from my mistakes to the younger guys?
Obviously what Calvin's gone through is definitely a testimony to the rest of our football team and, hopefully the rest of the league. But, I haven't really, I don't want to put Calvin in a spotlight situation. I don't want to bring all this attention on him, but at the same time, I have mentioned to the team that if they're going through anything or they're tempted in any way, reach out to Calvin. He'd be a great resource to talk to. And Calvin's been open to that. Now, whether or not he's had conversations, I can't speak to that. But listen, it's obviously we're in a day and age where gambling is it's everywhere, and with all the, websites that are out there and different things that people can, and apps and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we have to be very careful. And so part of my messaging to the team this offseason has been, because now we're going to take about 5 weeks off, and I just want to make sure that they're doing the right things and taking care of themselves and not putting their careers and futures, in jeopardy.
Have you been able to work on like service team kind of things now, because you do have everything installed for the most part, like work on defenses that you guys don't run or work on opponent specific things at all?
I mean, that's the kind of the reason for the offseason a little bit, to be able to experiment that way. There's things that we look at offensively from around the league that if it looks good, we're gonna try it, we've done that, we've experimented, and two, to get it on film, and then we can make corrections or adjustments, or not even carry it, in our playbook. So those are all things that the off season is for.
Do you have a start date for training camp, and the expectation is you will be at the Performance Center? I have 2 dates actually. July
21st, Friday, July 21st will be for our vet injured players. We have 2 vet quarterbacks. We have all our rookies, and then we have a few first year players. That's the criteria for the 21st. I think it's around 39 or 40 players that'll be in early for 3 days. And it's twofold. It's one, to get them in the building. The injured guys can get, medically checked on and possibly cleared, obviously for training camp at that time. And it gives us a chance for 3 days, 3-4 days to work any kind of kinks out of our new building and get everything fired up and ready to go. And the second date is July 25th. I believe that's a Tuesday. And that's when the rest of the team will report, and then, we'll get started, full squad that day.
Stadium of the Future, it's been in the process for 3 years, but when was the first time you saw those renderings that?
Last week.
You hadn't seen them before that? Like, was it part of?
No,
your-
because it just wasn't, it wasn't ready, I guess, for us to see. And I saw them last week and maybe a day or two before it was, unveiled, and it's beautiful, and I'm just hoping I'll be around to walk in it.
We got time for 2 more.
Is
You're
your
cutting the
hope,
ribbon, Dan. It's already set.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Hey, Doug.
is the hope from what you've been told, Doug, sorry, just to clarify, for training camp, that July 25th, I'm assuming it'll be like that weekend, that's when it would be open to fans?
Yeah, with the 26th, I guess, is the first day on the grass
Yep.
with the players. So, yeah, hopefully that's the first day that we get, fans in the bleachers, and excited for that. Having a 2,500 seat stadium over there to house, and it's got the big A fans up there to keep people cool, and you got the shade and everything. So excited for that.
Doug, what you know about what's in there, and I'm sure you've been inside, and all the amenities and all the features that are going to help this team, what is moving this in there going to mean for this year, maybe for the long term, and making this team better? What do you think the main aspects of that are?
Man, I tell you, I think just having our own space, being out from under the stadium, and this has been a great space, obviously, since the mid '90s. But to have our own building, a place that guys can really, I think, call home, and even from the standpoint of the off season, where once the season ends, they don't have to go other places, right? We're still in Jacksonville, Florida. The weather's good in February, March, and April, and guys want to stay here and use the building, and that part I think is going to be the exciting part, and then just I think just having the meeting space, the office space. We kind of joke and kid a lot about the windows and be able to see outside and the fresh air and things like that. I mean, those things make a difference, and it makes it easier too when you can just step right out onto 2 beautiful practice fields. You got a great indoor facility over there, and you can get a lot more work done. And I think that's the thing that's probably the most exciting as we move in in the month of July.
How excited do you think Heath and the specialists are to have that extra space right now?
I'm excited for the extra space because, we can do more. We can put the quarterbacks and receivers over on another field and get more throws in. We can put the specialists over there. There's a lot more things we can do. And last year was great at Episcopal, having those 2 fields like that during camp. But now we don't have to travel. We can just step right out onto the grass. And it's going to be much nicer and easier if God forbid, if someone gets injured in practice, it's right there. Everything is accessible, and it just makes it a little bit easier, to move around when you're have a 91-man roster like we do.
Does the head coach pick up a paintball gun when you're playing paintball?
He does.
How'd you do? Did you team it?
We won the first one. No, we got smoked after that. Yeah, it was fun though.
Who was your MVP of the paintball?
Ooh.
Who stood out?
Well,
as an award?
as far as I didn't see every game obviously because we were partaking, but we had six teams.
Okay.
I divvied up captains, and there was, I think Luke Farrell was my captain, Kevin Austin was a team. Who else was a team? Cisco was a team. Who else was a team?
Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon Walker, Walker Little were a team, but Kevin Austin's team actually won the entire thing. They started 0-2, and they came roaring back and ended up winning the whole thing. So hats off to them.
Did you take notes on who shot you?
You know what? I turned my back, which I shouldn't have done. Because they tell you when you get hit, right? You're out. The officials come over and they tap you, so you kind of hold up your paintball gun and you walk out, right? Well, I got hit. I stood up. I guess it was free game, so they tattooed right in the back.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Is that an old school